Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. We are from Group 7. Today, we would like to present our materials about mixed method design. So, let me introduce our group first. So, the first one is Cindy Maharani, the second one, Fadilatu Sabrina, the third one, DESIYANA, and for the last one, ALIFAH HAIRANI. So, the first material will be delivered by Cindy Maharani. So, Cindy, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. The first material about what is mixed method research. Next slide, please. Okay, mixed method research. A mixed method research design is a procedure for collecting, analyzing, and mixing both quantitative and qualitative method in a single study or series of studies to understand a research problem according to Creswell and Plano Clark 2011. The basic assumption is that the uses of both quantitative and qualitative methods in combination provide a better understanding of the research problem and question than either method by itself. Next slide, please. Okay, the next is how did mixed method research develop? Next slide. Okay, the history of the development of mixed method research has been described elsewhere according to Creswell and Plano Clark 2011 and Tascoki and Tedil 1998. And this review builds on this discussion. We can trace this evaluation through several traces. Next slide, please. There are 5. The first one is quantitative data mixing forms. Mixed methods research was developed through several stages in the 1930s. Educational and social science researchers began collecting data using a variety of methods. 1959, Campbell and Fiske introduced a multi-characteristic, multi-method approach to developing valid psychological traits using quantitative data. They suggest collecting multiple trait measures and scoring them using at least 2 methods. Next slide, please. Okay, the next is questioning the integration of worldviews and methods. The question arises whether quantitative and qualitative research can be combined because each approach is based on different philosophical assumptions. This debate goes beyond the tension between those who advocate traditional quantitative research and those who advocate qualitative research. The issue is whether a researcher using a particular method also needs to adopt a particular worldview that is compatible. According to Tasakori and Tedil 1998, between the worldview and the method worldviews are common philosophical assumptions that researchers use when conducting research. Next slide, please. Although some researchers may not be aware of it, they make assumptions about knowledge. For example, math scores exist to indicate achievement in 7th grade and how that knowledge can be acquired. We can measure math ability using standardized achievement tests. The logic of this argument conclude that mixed method research is unacceptable because there is no single worldview for such research. The worldview method argument, known as the paradigm debate, took place for several years in the late 1980 and early 1990, mainly at national conferences such as the annual meeting of the American Evaluation Association, according to Reichardt and Rallis 1994. Next slide, please.
Okay, so for the next material will be presented by Fadilatu Sabrina. For Fadila, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. So next, I will continue. Okay, I will explain about advocating for a distinct design. With the development of procedure, a notation system, and specific design, there is a growing recognition of mixed method research as a distinct and spared design. This approach is now considered alongside traditional research design, such as experiment, survey, and grounded theory. Advocates of mixed methods research have dedicated entire chapters and books to its application in the social and health science. So, next slide, please. So, reflective period. In recent years, mixed method research has entered a reflective period marked by two major themes. Firstly, there has been a current assessment and mapping of the field, establishing research priorities, identifying domains of inquiry, and summarizing ongoing discussion. Secondly, constructive criticism have emerged, challenging the nature of mixed method research. This criticism range from concern about definition and language to philosophical debates about paradigm mixing and the dominant discourse in the field. Applied issues such as type of design and claims made by mixed method scholars have also been raised. These controversies indicate a healthy development in the field, encouraging openness to new ideas and the challenge of accepting key ideas without reservation. Next slide, please, moderator. So next is developing procedure for mixed method study. The debate about mixed method research has died down due to increased interest in procedural aspect of conducting such research. The author begins to explore the objective of mixed method research and identify alternative design. Triangulation appears as a single goal, integration multiple database to understand a phenomenon. Another reason is to collect quantitative and qualitative data sparingly in two stages to complement each other. More complex design involve three phases of data collection or collection of data from various levels with an organization. Next slide, please. So, what are the types of mixed method design? Next slide, please. So, in identifying types of mixed method design, researchers have viewed published studies as classified them accordingly. Strategies for identifying mixed method study, including examining the title for keyword like quantitative and qualitative, integrated, combined, triangulation, multi-method or mixed methodology, the data collection section, and proposed statement or research question also provide evidence of mixed method. So here are 6 points. First is the convergent parallel design. Second is the explanatory sequential design. Third is the exploratory sequential design. Fourth, the embedded design. Fifth, the transformative design. And last but not least, we have the multiple phase design. Next slide, please. So the convergent parallel design. The purpose of a convergent parallel or a parallel or concurrent mixed method design is to simultaneously collect both quantitative and qualitative data, merge the data, and use the result to understand a research problem. A basic rationale for this design is that one data collection from supply strength to offset the weakness of the other form, and that a more complete understanding of a research problem result from collecting both quantitative and qualitative data. Next. The explanatory sequential design. This design involves sequentially collecting quantitative and qualitative data in two stages, where one type of data collection follows and informs the other type of data. This design is also known as the most popular explanatory mixed methods design in educational research. In this design, the mixed method researchers give priority to the collection and analysis of quantitative data. A small qualitative component usually follows in the second phase of the study. Researchers use qualitative data to hone results from quantitative data by exploring a few representative cases, depending key result, or continuing with silent or extreme cases. Next. The exploratory sequential design. The purpose of an exploratory sequential mixed method design involves the procedure of the first gathering qualitative data to explore a phenomena or none, and then collecting quantitative data to explain relationship found in the qualitative data. A popular application of this design is to explore a phenomenon, identify terms, design an instrument, and subsequently test it. Researchers use this design when existing instrument, variables, and measures may not be known or available for the population under study. I think that's all. Back to moderator.
Okay, so thank you so much for Fadilatu Sabrina for your great explanation. Now we move on to the next material that will be explained by DESIYANA. So DESIYANA, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, ALIFAH. So the M design. The purpose of the M design is to collect quantitative and qualitative data simultaneously and sequentially, but to have one form of data play a supportive role to the other of the data. The reason for collecting the second form of data is that to argument support primary from the data. The purpose of the M is to collect quantitative and qualitative data. By collecting data before the experiment can help design an intervention that is tailored to the participant. Collecting data after the experiment can help to explain and follow up on the quantitative outcomes result. Okay, next slide. The transformative design and multiple pass design. Multi-pass mixed method design occur when research or a team of research examine a problem or topic through a series of pass of spread study. The group of tasks or study are considered to be mixed method design, and the intent of the design to address a set of incremental research questions that all advance one pragmatic research objective. The transformative design, the passage or study may employ a combination of current or sequential design, and this form of design is popular in large-scale health research and in evaluation research. Okay, next slide. What are the key characteristics of mixed method design? Next slide. Mixed method design can be distinct from other types of design in several ways. In reviewing the following 6 characteristics, they are provide a rationale for the design. Second, include collecting quantitative and qualitative data. Third, consider priority. Four, consider sequence. Five, match the data analysis to a design. And the last, diagram the procedure. Next slide. Okay, provide a rationale for the design. Readers and those who review mixed method studies need to know why you are mixed method. Mixed method research include a justification or rationale for the use of both quantitative and qualitative data. One justification is that collecting quantitative data in a second phase is important to test the qualitative exploration of the first phase and of the study. Readers and those alternative, a reason for conducting a mixed method study might be that you seek to explain in more detail through qualitative research and initial quantitative statistical. Include collecting quantitative and qualitative data in any mixed method study. You should clearly indicate that you are collecting both quantitative and qualitative data. Method of data collection are typically associated with either number or numeric data. Okay, back to moderator.
Okay, so thank you, DESIYANA, for your great explanation. Now we're moving on to the next materials about the consider consider priority. This is the key of characteristic of mixed method. So mixed method researchers often advance a priority for the collection of quantitative and qualitative data. There are three available to researchers for prioritizing data. The first one, quantitative and qualitative data are equal weight. And the second one, the quantitative data is greater weight than qualitative data. And the last one is qualitative data is of greater weight than quantitative data. That means priority means that in the mixed method design, the researcher places more emphasis on one type of data on the other types of data in the research and the written report. This emphasis may result from personal experience with data collection, the need to understand from of data before proceeding to the next or audience reading the research. So the next one is consider sequence. So mixed method researchers advance the sequence of data collection using concurrent or sequential approaches or some combination. Again, several options exist for the sequencing of data collection. As you can see from the PowerPoint, here is the several options exist. Okay, and if the purpose of the study is to explain quantitative results further with qualitative data, for examples like exploratory design, or to develop an instrument from qualitative data, the procedures should clearly indicate the sequence. The data collection processes are independent of each other and typically presented at paces. And this process involves two data collection efforts that proceed simultaneously and are related to each other. Some mixed method studies involve both the concurrent and the sequential process of the data collection. The next one is match the data analysis to a design. One of the most difficult challenges for the mixed method researchers is how to analyze data from quantitative and qualitative research. This list is not comprehensive and should not leave the creative potential of a mixed method researcher. So here are the four mixed method that we'll discuss by writers and illustrated in mixed method studies. The first one is convergent design analysis. So of all the design in this analysis, it perhaps the most difficult and controversial. Controversial. Why? Because the standard approach seems to convert or compare in the some way quantitative data, for examples like scores, and qualitative data is text. And one way is to provide discussion in a side-by-side analysis about the themes emerging from the data and how the support of reviewed the statistical analysis. The next one is explanatory design analysis. Because you collect the data in distinct phases, the analysis of the explanatory design is easier to see and conduct that. A convergent design. A popular approach is to collect quantitative data and look for extreme cases to follow up in quantitative base. The last one, the next is exploratory design analysis. In this design, the substantial qualitative data collection becomes a mean for developing or locating quantitative instrument, forming categorical information for later quantitative data collection, or developing generalizations from the few initial qualitative cases. Perhaps the most popular use is to generate instrument well-grounded. The last one is embedded design analysis. In this one analysis, the analysis of the quantitative and qualitative data are kept separate because the two data sets often reflect different questions. So the next one is diagram the procedures. Mixed method researchers often provide a visualization of diagram of their design depicting the procedures. By including this visualization, the researcher helps reader identify the sequence of data collection. An important aid when collecting multiple forms of data. The notation system by Morse, 1991, described in figure, can be useful in developing this visualization. The next is what are some potential ethical issues in mixed method research? So, substantive discussion about the ethical issues that arise in method research have not been undertaken by conversation, certainly beginning with the Mertens, Holmes, and Havers 2009 discussion about transformative research. This author suggests that the transformative approach is a side of multiple interpretive practices and ethical considerations occur at multiple points in the research process. The data collection should not further marginalize groups of participants, and the data findings need to be linked to social action. So take a look this from the PowerPoint. There is some ethical issue may arise that unique to type of design. There are three, and then for the first one, in convergent design, that means the quantitative and qualitative sample sizes may be different. Care needs to be taken to not minimize the importance of a sample because of its size. The second one is researchers may use a large quantitative database for the initial phase of the research. In order to follow up these individuals with qualitative interviewers, there need to be an identifier linked to the quantitative database. And for the last one is conducting initial qualitative interviews to build an intervention before an experiment may be helpful in designing an intervention. However, using the initial interview data to place participants to a control group where they do not receive a beneficial treatment presents and ethical issues. Okay, so that's all for my explanation. And also, thank you so much for your good explanation for all of you guys. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.